Hello and how you doing, and welcome back to Two Jagoffs. I am your host, Austin Carnes, right back here in Pittsburgh's Media Hub for another episode. And this episode, ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing on a special guest. He is the king of Pittsburgh, and correct me if I'm wrong, he's Pittsburgh made, Pittsburgh paid, and internationally laid. Ladies and gentlemen, MV Young. MV, it's good to see you, my man.
Thank you for having me, Austin.
Thank you so much for coming down. I mean, I've been following your career for quite some time now. Obviously, you've been all over the Pittsburgh independent scene. You've been all over the independent scene in general. You've been making your rounds recently. I got to ask you, though, where did it all begin for you?
When I was 17 in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, so I'm from Pittsburgh. Don't get that twisted. But, I had some opportunity. So basically what happened was my dad got a job with NASA in Titusville. He worked in Pittsburgh. He was a state cop, and he got a job with NASA in Titusville. And I was just looking at college options, and I was looking up wrestling schools, and obviously like I had the opportunity to go to Florida because my dad was moving there, and there was this wrestling school in Orlando that had Larry Zbyszko, Scott Hall as trainers at the time. And that's all I really wanted to do. So I chose to go to UCF and then also go to that wrestling school.
Where'd you go to UCF for?
Sports and Entertainment Business Management.
Oh, wow.
But I did not finish. I ended up getting that degree elsewhere. But yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So whenever you started the World Wrestling business, I'm assuming you've been a fan your entire life, so you probably grew up watching it. Who were some people that you idolized?
Like early on, like the typical ones, like Rock. Lesnar. I remember, like I said, I always quote that, like, I think the first pay-per-view my dad ever let me buy or bought for me was Lesnar versus Rock at SummerSlam.
Classic.
Yeah. And obviously, if you continue to like wrestling, you expand your taste. So I remember, like, getting super into the indies / like Ring of Honor, Japan stuff in, like, middle school and high school. I feel like I had a really big New Japan phase when I was in high school. So it was, like, Tanahashi.
It's like all the heavy hitters.
Nakamura before he went to WWE.
Yeah.
The guys that are now on their retirement tours. But yeah, that was kind of like my biggest inspiration as I grew into my fandom.
So as you grew into your fandom, you then became an independent professional wrestler. You've traveled all over the place. Obviously, I know you've done a lot of stuff with Enjoy Wrestling, 880 Wrestling, which is pretty much your prized possession. And I recently had Gannon Jones Jr. on. I know that's kind of like where you guys founded this business. You're the heart behind it. Can you kind of tell me what went into 880 Wrestling in the early stages?
So I had just moved back from New York City. I lived there for like 5 years. It's kind of like where I got indie buzz. It's where wrestling became my full-time job. It's where I got notoriety, if you will, as I became a D-list celebrity of sorts. But I had enough of a following that, I was also doing. I was like an assistant coach at what was called T2T Brooklyn, and so I moved back to Pittsburgh, and New Kensington is my hometown, and they were doing this initiative, if you will, to get new businesses into it. So the property at the time was super cheap, and I kind of considered it. I was like a little nervous. I was back and forth on it. I asked Gannon if he would want to be a coach with me. And, obviously I ended up pulling the trigger. And, me and Gannon produced that first class that you see now, the Casey Wars, Brandon and Reese and Gianni and Nix and all those people. So, although New Ken didn't end up being a long-term home, it ended up creating like what we call the Steel City Killers. So
yeah, and you found your home in New Kensington. You're now over in the South Side in the shop, in the old skateboard shop.
Yep.
Obviously, you guys done shows everywhere else. There was a show in Cleveland recently, which I was actually on call for. I know there was the Boom on the Bridge up in Beaver County. So 880 Wrestling's been making its rounds now.
Yeah, I mean, people are reaching out to us. That's the cool thing. It's not like, like I've full transparency, did not scheme to go to Cleveland. They reached out to us.
Oh, wow.
They reached out to Casey War specifically. He's kind of the one that kind of like made that whole thing happen that day, as you know. And, like the Boom on the Bridge also reached out to us. So it's good that people like think that we're doing a cool thing and want us to be a part of their events.
And I think the cool thing about 882 is when you look at a lot of the other wrestling companies, they all do once a month. 880 Wrestling is a weekly show. It's every Thursday night. You got Thursday night fights along with the monthly shows. You really don't see that around here.
You don't see it.
You don't see it at all.
You don't really see it on the indies at all. I mean, the concept is, I pitched the concept to Sorg early on in the training, and I thought it was going to be like a let's get through like this class and like wait a year. And he seemed very eager to just kind of do it. And my biggest thing was that when we first started, well, before we started doing it, I wanted there to be some kind of like, see if there could be a cash flow, something, but like it just seemed like everyone was on board with like, no, this is just a project we're gonna do to get better at every aspect of this. And it just has kind of grown into that where like every week it's now like, hey, if you want a match, come get a match. And you know, we get decent numbers on the stream, so you get your content right away, you get a rep in, and it's on a Thursday, so most places don't run Thursday, so you can still do your other bookings. And it's just kind of turned into like this thing that almost like runs itself, whereas like everyone knows what their job is when they get there, and it's just expanding. Like we get really big number, like me versus Effie got crazy numbers. You know, the stream's growing on TikTok and Instagram Live, Facebook Live, all those outlets. We have viewers in like different countries. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what my expectations were, but I feel like we are exceeding them.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, whenever you have a weekly episodic show, there's obviously going to be storylines to be told on that. And a lot of the times with the indie shows that I noticed, they kind of just throw the card together last minute, like, okay, you're fighting this person. Boom.
It's hard to tell a story on a monthly basis.
Exactly. It's hard to tell a story. But on a weekly show, it's right there. Because, oh, last week, what happened was MV was feuding with this guy, and this guy turned heel, or this guy did this. 880 is able to do that.
And if someone's not able to make a show, there's another show the next week. So there's continuity. Which you just don't see.
No, you really don't see that at all. And the cool thing is, too, with 880, it's a great training ground for so many people. I know there's a whole training program behind it. That's pretty much what 880 Wrestling is. And so many guys that you see come up there, you're now seeing on some of these other bigger shows around, not even just the Pittsburgh scene, but around the country. I mean, I know you recently made the trip down to Fest Wrestling with BSJ, with Casey, with Nix. So, I mean, that was a cool experience in itself. And you've probably seen these people all over the place now.
Yeah, and those guys were all up in Canada this week. This past weekend, I was in Vegas, so like, you know, and people are like mentioning 880 when they advertise this, so people give a shit, and it's cool. Like they see 880 as a viable brand for advertising, and I think that's awesome.
Where was so whenever you and Gannon were then into the planning stages, obviously you then start going to the New Kensington shows. What were some of the trials and tribulations you had to overcome with the whole New Ken area? Because obviously, again, New Kensington, like you mentioned, was your home. Yeah. You were just starting a wrestling promotion there. No one's done these Thursday night shows. Was there anything that got in the way of this in the early stages?
Nothing got in the way of it. Some people, someone, I don't know who, like people were trying to get the commission on us, but like there's no gate, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a training show. It literally is. It still is. It's just a training show. There's no, like, we're not stealing money. Like, that was the thing when it first started. And, like, to be honest, like, New Kensington is not a super viable area, especially Fifth Ave. You don't see foot traffic, especially at 8 p.m. And, I mean, if you go back to the first episodes, which I actually would prefer people didn't because they were rough, but, I mean, the crowds were so small. And now it's like you were there, you called the Effie match, right?
Yeah.
Packed, absolutely packed, like on a Thursday night in the South Side. So, I mean, I think getting people to care was hard. Getting people to follow us to the South Side later on, it actually wasn't that hard. They just followed us, and that was awesome. You know, there was like business stuff that affected me too. Like the city came after me for zoning, and it was a whole dispute where I was like, I'm not the landlord of this building, but I will handle it anyway. You know, just things that I didn't know as at the time 27-year-old, and I just have like learned a lot of that kind of stuff that I never really wanted to get involved in, but now I am. And it was just, you know, zoning and you know, like noise ordinances, things of that nature, and then also making it a viable product for like being advantageous of the foot traffic that there can be in that time in New Kensington.
Right, and I mean, whenever you talk about the shop, you talk about New Kensington. That's not even the only home for 880 Wrestling. I know the place that you guys been going to a lot recently was the Penn Brewery.
Penn Brewery's a second home for sure.
Second home for sure, and I mean, it's such a beautiful atmosphere too, with the city skyline in the background.
Oh yeah, the outdoor shows are unmatched.
Oh my God, it was beautiful. I did my first one with the World Series with you guys, and I remember I was up on the roof, and Toddy was like, "Yeah, here it is. This is gonna be the view." And I look, I'm like, "Are you serious? At night, that's the view?" That's
the biggest bummer was that we were supposed to do that in June too, and we got rained out.
Oh.
And we were in the ballroom. I don't know if you were you around with us at that?
I was a fan at the time.
Okay. So yeah, like, you know, I would love to capitalize on that once the weather breaks once again, but obviously the World Series on theme with the cold weather of the World Series, it works. And then in the winter we go to the ballroom. So
and the ballroom's still a nice space too. I mean,
I love the ballroom.
I mean, the pillars are a little weird, but I mean, outside of that, it's still a really big room.
Yeah, there's some dimensional challenges, but I like the option to we're lucky enough that they give us the option to bounce it either way depending on weather.
Yeah, and you just had a match recently too at the World Series. It was against Nick Wild.
Nick Wild.
880 championship.
Yep.
And again, I'm still relatively new within 880 wrestling, but I know something that you always said was you don't ever want to fight for that championship. Obviously, you kind of forced into this with this whole home run tournament. What was your kind of psychology behind that? Like, why don't you want to fight for the 880 championship?
I just don't want 880 to be. I number one, like just blankly, I'm not really a fan of the owner of a company having a belt. I've always said it would be break the glass emergency. I win belts other places. I don't need it. This whole project is about growing a brand. It's not about me. I am happy as a moderately successful professional wrestler to contribute my name value and things of that nature, and my skills to younger wrestlers. But I don't need the belt, and I don't think a belt's going to elevate me in 880. I don't think that anything's going to elevate me that I do in 880, other than me traveling other places and growing my personal brands, so the 880 inherently becomes bigger. And I think that a belt helps wrestlers that are 2 or 3 years in more than it helps people that are. I'm 13 years in. I don't.
And that's what I respect about you too, because so many wrestlers out there, and again, not to name names, they're a little selfish in the sense that, oh, they want as much as they can, but you're humble enough to know, like, yeah, I don't really need this championship. I would rather elevate some of my guys that are trying to get some notoriety while I focus on bigger and better things.
To be honest with you, I wasn't even particularly happy about winning the tournament, but fighting Nick Wild was, I think, important, or at least I was.
It was needed.
I was coerced into believing that it was important, and I really Nick's is like, sorry to break kayfabe, my good friend, and I really enjoyed that match. I've watched it back several times, love the view, and I am super stoked with how it turned out. So,
how does the commentary sound?
Great, dude. You're killing it.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I love that sports style commentary. You got that Greg Brown in you.
I got the Greg Brown in me?
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So going more into your wrestling career now, like you said, you've been all over the place. You recently did the Fest Championship. You've done a lot of Negative Outlook. And the thing that I've noticed about you is you're not one of the wrestlers that only want to do like the in-ring style. You're also doing a lot of the no-ring stuff. And this is something that I've been kind of relatively new with. I've been starting to make the trip to Negative Outlook more, 'cause it's only an hour away, and just kind of exploring that. It's a whole different atmosphere from what I've noticed. Do you mind speaking on that a
Feels
little
like
bit?
a college football game, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Rowdy
I like
crowd, alcohol, yeah.
So I like no rings a lot. Do you know anything about like the start of no ring wrestling or anything like that?
I might not be that educated, no.
Okay, so no ring wrestling really started in Brooklyn in around like 2016 or 17 with a guy named Casanova Valentine.
Okay.
I was just a lowly indie wrestler living in Brooklyn, and I saw it, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever. I thought it was a really great way to do wrestling and get new fans without like the whole like putting a ring up somewhere and going through the commission and things like that. And I was like just a kid. I was like 23, and I was just hitting Cass up a lot, like, hey dude, I really want to do this, and he finally budged, and I did it, and I had a really good match, and I kind of became like a secondary. He was like the main guy. He would do the like big main events, and I was like the mid card guy for a lot of those shows. And it was so hot in Brooklyn, and I kind of like used that as like it was a great way to like A, make money, B, introduce fans to wrestling that didn't know wrestling but could see wrestling in a different light that would make them go to like actual ring shows. That was always my biggest thing with the no ring, is I felt like it made fans. And then when I came to Pittsburgh, back to Pittsburgh in 2021, I really put a considered effort into bringing it back with me, and I did. And now you see like a lot of like no ring companies. I don't personally know that I still get as much out of no ring wrestling as I used to, and I think I prefer maybe being in the ring these days. However, I just told you, it feels like a college football game. It's cool. Like, they're on top of you, they're drunk, they're loud, there's like this buzz, palpable buzz, they're reacting to everything, and it's like, it feels good. And I think it's, like I said, I think that when done right, like I think people spam some stuff that is like makes it unnecessary, makes it maybe have a bad rep, but I think when done right, it's like a really good tool to make new wrestling fans.
You gotta make it an attraction, essentially. Like, you don't want to do it like every month.
It is an attraction because it's wrestling on a hard bar floor. So you A, have to know what you're doing to make it right, and B, you have to be different in a variety of ways. You can't run an international spot on a hard floor, so you gotta like be creative.
I don't want to break kayfabe either, but I gotta ask. How much does that hurt? How much do those car rides hurt on your way home from these events?
I don't think the car rides hurt. It's the next morning.
It's the next morning.
Yeah, and then I guess just like everyday life now, I'm just creating baggage on myself physically. But I mean, yeah, it hurts. I mean, you feel it after the match for sure, but I think it's like always waking up.
Because a lot of them get pretty bloody too. Oh
yeah. It's never. I mean, the way the blood looks good, but the blood never hurts as bad as like the bump you took or
yeah, like a suplex
that.
on the hardwood bar floor.
Yeah.
Through a door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not. So with the no rings that you've done with Enjoy Wrestling, 880 Wrestling, you've done a lot of matches throughout your career. Kind of looking back, is there one that you're the most proud of, or maybe a personal favorite that you have?
Mikey Montgomery at Stage AE.
Oh, I was in attendance for that actually.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I got a standing ovation at a venue that I grew up going to, so you can't beat that.
Was there anything that like led up to that match that made it so special, or was it just the fact that it was in front of hundreds of people at Stage AE?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that I think it ended up after comps being 1,000 people.
Wow.
And which is big for because the ring takes up so much space there.
Mm-hmm.
And the build up, I wouldn't say the build up meant that much to me. I've never wrestled Mikey. We had really good chemistry, and we went for it. And like I said, like I went to go see concerts there when I was in high school, and the bell rings, Mikey won, and we stand up together, and everyone's standing on their feet clapping for us at a venue that like pretty much the biggest like
names have gone through.
Yeah, like I've seen crazy famous bands there, so it's like getting a standing ovation for my craft at that venue in a city that I grew up in is nuts. So it's hard for me to let anything pass that.
Kind of sharing a story too about that show. I went with my buddy Kevin, who you've probably seen a couple of times over at Thursday Night Fights, and that was actually his introduction to pro wrestling. He was never a fan beforehand. That was his first ever show he's gone to. It was my first Enjoy show, but I've obviously kept up with it just because I've been in the wrestling community for a long time. So I took him to that show because I figured, okay, it's Stage AE. I've never even seen a wrestling company there before, so I thought this would be a cool experience. And I remember watching his face throughout that show. I watched someone fall in love with pro wrestling, and not even just him. So many people out there fell in love that night.
That's really cool. My biggest what if about that show is if it wasn't on Father's Day, how many people would have been there.
Yeah.
Because that was like the biggest thing, and it still drew a crazy big crowd. But like it was, that show was super special.
For sure. And I mean, there were so many great matches. I think Lawless and Grim was the start of it. You and Montgomery, Steel Cage match. There was TME, Derek, and Katie in one match. Facade was in another. It was just an insane night.
Yeah, it was like honestly like one of my most fond memories of my career so far.
Would you say Mikey Montgomery is your greatest rival, or do you have another one?
Who
would you say greatest rival?
I don't know if I have a greatest rival, but that's our only match still.
Wow. Which is crazy to think too.
I mean, I guess we had the 4-way at the last Enjoy, but 1-on-1. And, even in that little bit of 4-way we had at Enjoy, like, I felt the chemistry. Like, we got good chemistry. I mean, it's something I'd like to revisit for sure. A, because he beat me, and B, because, like, it just, like, feels very natural out there with him.
Do you have any favorite opponents that you have shared the ring with, or maybe someone that you haven't yet that you want to eventually share it with?
I've shared the ring with a lot of people, but if I had to say, I'd say Jacob Fatu.
Oh,
definitely one of my favorite matches. I think that like most of my favorite matches have come in the last 5 years, but I've also had some ones in my whole career. Like Tom Lawler, I wrestled 3 times, former UFC fighter. Some other guys that there's some other guys that like I wish that I could get my hands on now that I got hands on when I feel like I was a little too green to like again like me and Moriarty wrestled a lot pre 2020. We've both grown so much. I would like to see what that looks like modern day. Matt Tremont, a long time ago. I'd like to see what that's like modern day. I wrestled Calvin Tankman. That's the kind of stuff I like. Like these like big fight feel stuff. That's what I like about wrestling. So
it's your whole persona, pretty much.
Yeah, I like to make it feel. I like my matches to feel like a Steelers game.
I like that. Yeah, rocking the crowd.
Yeah.
Run the ball, stop the run. I mean, they're not really doing much of that this year, but that's besides the
hard-nosed blue-collar football.
Exactly. Now, I love how you play into the whole Pittsburgh theme within your character as well. I try and play into that with my podcast, Two Jagoffs, but you're Pittsburgh made, Pittsburgh paid, internationally laid. Where did that come about? I got to know.
So whenever I lived in New York, I missed Pittsburgh really bad, obviously, and it was actually Pittsburgh made, New York paid, internationally laid. And then when I moved back, I just flipped it back the whole way. Whenever I was in New York, I was doing like a way more like rock star type character. And so like I think that was like the biggest change is like I used to try to make my wrestling matches feel like a rock show, and now I try to make it feel like a big time sporting event. And I think I'm more comfortable with the sporting event feel. But that was kind of like where it started, was really maybe even like the Brooklyn No Rings. I actually think that my first memory is I just threw it out there, and Cass, the guy I was telling you about, was like, yeah, that rules, keep that. And that's been like 8 years now, just that I adjusted it to Pittsburgh everything when I moved back.
And you can see everybody in the crowd too react as soon as someone says it.
Yeah,
Like
they say it along now.
They say it along now, which is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
At the Penn Brewery show, I heard like there's at least a dozen people in the crowd saying, "And internationally laid
Yeah.
MV Young."
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So the internationally laid thing doesn't even necessarily go with my character anymore, but it just stuck. So I'm just like keeping it.
It's like, why not?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's probably true.
Yeah, I'm internationally laid.
Okay. It's good to put out there. So within your character, you mentioned you changed from a rock star into this whole King of Pittsburgh gimmick now. And the King of Pittsburgh, I feel like is so cool too, because you're able to play into that on the independent scene in Pittsburgh. But when you travel everywhere else, do you kind of get like a bad rep for that since you are from Pittsburgh?
I'm a bad guy everywhere else.
You're a bad guy everywhere else. Pittsburgh, you're loved, you're hated everywhere.
Gainesville, in Gainesville, we keep telling them that, this, because Fest is like this punk rock thing, and we just keep telling them they're fake punks. Pittsburgh's a real punk place. We're going back. We're taking it with us. Vegas, I got booed for the Pittsburgh thing, which I'm just like, why do you give a shit about Pittsburgh and Vegas? Like, you don't even have a real sport. Like, they have real sports teams, but they're all transplants.
You adopted from Oakland.
Yeah. So, and some guy was like talking to me about Fleury, but like, I don't know if you like have noticed this, but I've noticed that people fucking hate Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That aren't from Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah.
And like, even like people that like, obviously if you went to Cleveland or Baltimore or Cincy, you get it. Like, why the fuck do people in Chicago hate Pittsburgh? Like,
Makes
I don't,
no
it doesn't
damn
make any sense.
Did I tell you that I got trash thrown at me when I was at Cleveland?
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, in Cleveland. I mean, it makes sense because of the AFC North battle. But after the show, Kevin and I went to cut a promo in front of the Cleveland Browns Stadium.
Yeah.
And I'm in a Riverhounds jersey. I'm not even in a Steelers jersey. People throwing trash at us out the windows.
Do
We're
they
going
even
by.
have a soccer team?
No, I don't think they do.
Do they give a shit about soccer in Cleveland?
They say go back to Pittsburgh. I think they just saw black and yellow and it just triggered them.
Shit's weird, dude.
Yeah, makes no
I
damn
mean,
sense.
I came out the fucking renegade, in Cleveland. And that's where it originated. Well, that's the team it originated against.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was with the Browns. Speaking of Renegade, that's an amazing theme song to have.
Thank you. I think it's a little too long, and sometimes I reconsider because of that. But I just like I think I'm gonna keep it until the Steelers get rid of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense because it plays into the whole Pittsburgh ties.
Yeah.
And I like how everyone like does the clap too at the beginning
Clap
before
is
you even
good.
come out.
I was surprised I even got claps in like some claps in Vegas for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I got claps in Toronto for it. So it's not always like I definitely got claps in Gainesville for it, which it's just like it's not unanimous that people would even understand that, but it does feel good. I feel like it adds to the big fight. Obviously, you couldn't have Renegade as your theme on like TV or something because it's just too long, but for the indies, it works well.
Yeah, no, it works perfect.
Yeah.
And speaking of going down the fest, I mean, that was all punk style, like you were mentioned before. You, Casey, BSJ, you brought home some gold. You brought home the Fest championship. They brought home the Fest tag team titles. Speak about down there a little bit. What was Fest like for you?
It was really fun. It always is. We went down there and, we did we always do Tampa Thursday night for the No Ring thing. We do it with the MV Young's Open Invitational on Saturday night, and then Sunday night is the big in-ring wrestling show. I mean, it was just cool. It was cool to come back with all gold with your boys, come back to the same promotion, now get to defend it on our promotion. It's just a cool thing to do.
What has that been like also traveling up and down the road with those guys? BSJ, KC, obviously I know you guys done Canadian Deathmatch, Negative Outlook, a bunch of other stuff.
It's fun. I love those dudes.
Would you say those are your closest in the wrestling business?
Yeah, they're my students, but they're also like both a year older than me because they started late. So like we're good buddies and it's fun. I like the way they wrestle. I like their mentality on the business. I love the fourth line gimmick.
Oh yeah,
the gimmick of like being a tough fourth liner. I came up with that name, by the way.
You came up with the fourth line name.
Yeah, because they were both like, they both actually play ice hockey. So it's not a work. So it's like, I was like, hey, I remember they at first took it as a slight, and I was like, no, dude, that's like sick. You're like the scrappy fourth liners, like, and now it's like their whole, it's fucking awesome. They have the hockey jerseys and shit. Yeah, they rule. I love traveling with those guys.
Out of all your years with 880 wrestling too, we talked about some of your favorite matches over at Else Place. Do you have one that maybe stands out? Because I'm going to give you two after you give your answers. Two of my personal favorites I've called.
At 880?
At 880.
Okay.
What was some of your favorites?
Okay. Man, I've had some... What are my favorite 880 matches? I just wrestle there so fucking much.
It's almost every...
Yeah. I don't want to have recency bias.
I'm definitely gonna have recency bias, just so you know.
Okay, so in February of this year, me and Brandon St. James had a really good one at a big show
Okay.
that maybe might be my favorite. Are you asking me a name too, you said?
I can name as many as you want. One,
Okay.
fine.
I mean, I've had a lot. I really liked me and Casey Wars at the last night in town for New Ken.
Mm.
I really liked the no holds barred shoot style match me and Casey had. I like all of my matches with Reese.
Oh, Reese is great. Yeah.
And I mean, I was really, really proud of my match with Nix too. I'm probably forgetting someone, but I mean, me and K-Rob even the other night was really fun.
I was about to throw that one out there, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fun. Like, I've been having a lot of fun with it. That's why I do it.
What about Effie's match? That was personally my favorite.
Yeah, I think that the thing that I would have about my match with Effie is that we've had so many matches on bigger stages, like with a bigger crowd and things of that nature, that I wouldn't even say that it's even like my top favorite Effie match. I love that we brought like a genuine international world title to 880. That was a huge fucking deal. The numbers said it. You know, the views were the most viewed ever. But and it was a good match. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time doing that match. But like, I just think that comparatively speaking, I think back to my match with Effie, like when I first won the Fest belt in 2021 in front of like 800 people, that's probably like, so I think that's like a little bit of bias.
That's true, yeah, because a lot more people around. I mean, that first ever GCW championship match in Pittsburgh.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it was cool. And I was stoked that he wanted to do it. It was his idea. You know?
It was a crazy week for me too, because I got to call a GCW match on Thursday with you, and then another GCW match on Saturday in Cleveland.
Yeah, that was a great weekend.
What a great week that was.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a lot of times we do a lot of these like monthly shows. You do a lot of the weekly shows. Obviously, you're traveling around doing other companies. Would you say that you being in this business for quite some time, like this is like what you were meant to do? Like you were meant to be a professional wrestler, or was there maybe other dreams or aspirations you had outside of it?
Not for a very long time. I like wrestling the most.
Wrestling is your go-to.
It's fun. I still have fun doing it. I still feel creatively inspired by it. It obviously stresses me out in some ways, but also, like, I mean, you know, I played every sport. You know, I got.
What were some of your favorites that you played?
I had some very modest scholarship offers in rugby.
Oh wow, really? That's actually cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I got into UCF. And then so by sending tape, and I mean, I really miss football. I kind of like wish that I could redo my football career, and I feel like if I could change something, I don't think I would, because I really enjoyed my life and stuff. But if there was something that I could just see how it went, I think that rather than knowing that I wanted to be a wrestler right after high school, I think that I would have really like put on weight on purpose and hit the weight room and see how high I could have gone in football or something. Like really went all out for it.
What position you play?
I was an outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker?
And a situational fullback on the other side of the ball. But, you know, like I feel like in my football career, like early on, I got really, really, really obsessed with wrestling, and I kind of just hyper fixated on that aspect. And now I see that, like, with the way the business has gone, that being a collegiate football player is actually, like, for some reason better than being a high-level indie wrestler.
Yeah.
In some people's eyes. Not that I even, like, have aspirations for WWE or anything, but I do wonder what it could have done for me and how far I could have gone.
Do you see maybe yourself doing something on those bigger stages one day, or are you, like, content with being on that independent level?
I'm pretty hell-bent on creating my own big stage.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
I don't really love the idea of like I don't really like the idea of being at the whim of a billion-dollar owner that doesn't give a shit about me and could cut me at any single time. And I enjoy that I can make a living off of pro wrestling, and I don't want to like depend on that and then I'm cut and then it's all gone.
You do know you're pretty damn good. You could probably easily hold your own with those guys if you really wanted to.
I wrestled Jacob for two months before he got signed.
Exactly.
And
so
he told me that. I mean, I guess maybe I should keep this between me and him, but he was very complimentary. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I know that I can hang with those guys in the ring for sure. I mean, there's other attributes to why you make television and things of that nature. Obviously, I don't have anyone in the business in my family. I don't have. I mean, I guess I have a collegiate athlete around, but it's not like 4 years and like prestigious, and I don't have I just don't really spend my time networking in that way. I just prefer that every time I get into a ring, I improve something, work on something, or get better. And like, if that somehow happened, which I just don't think that happens for people that don't try. Like I said, I love like stage AE was I'll never forget that moment. So it's like, that is like a really big deal to me. And I don't know. I think that when I was a kid, everyone dreams of being in WrestleMania, but I haven't had that thought process for a very long time. I just like, what can 880 do? What can Enjoy do? What can I do to create this? Like I told you, I love the like sports atmosphere. Like I want to create this like not just like the thing I love most about sorry that I'm like going on a tangent now.
No,
but
keep going.
The thing that I love most about Japanese wrestling isn't like the or old Japanese wrestling isn't like the snugness. That's part of it, but it's like, you listen to that crowd in like a 90s All Japan, it sounds like a college football game. It's just like there's like this palpable buzz, and they're in tune with every reversal, every strike, but like they give a shit about everything. And I feel like I try so hard to cultivate that environment as much as you can in 2025. And I feel like I'm pretty obsessed with that vision, as opposed to like, oh, I want validation from AEW or WWE.
Right, and you definitely can see like the sporty feel that is now starting to come to 880, especially with some of the ruckus crowds that we have there.
It's my favorite thing.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
You're one of the most brutal wrestlers in the ring too, I would say. And I mean that with respect. Like, you make everything look so damn good whenever you're out there competing. And
AFC North football.
AFC North football, exactly.
Yeah.
One of the moves that you do that sticks to me, and you can probably hear my reactions all the time on commentary, they're genuine, is your chops.
Yeah.
They're vicious as hell.
Yeah, I was never a chopper until 880. And
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I did chops, but it wasn't really my thing. And the reason I would do it is because I was wrestling kids that were so inexperienced that I had to slow them down. And then it got over. And then I started like doing the baseball chop. And shortly thereafter, Paul Skeens got signed. And then people started calling us Paul Skeens fastball.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that fucking goes great. That just works. Who knows what it's going to be called in 2027 when he's gone. But yeah, I mean, chops, some people will tell you they're a cheap thing, but there's people that can throw good chops and there's people who can throw bad chops, and I know that I can throw good chops.
You throw missiles for chops.
Yeah, you get the sound, so.
You get the loud sound.
Yeah.
What goes into it? Is it just like the perfect cup to the hand, or is it just you're slapping them as hard as you can?
I know this is going to sound weird, but it really matters on the shape of the chest. If someone's got like a muscular big chest, it's the cup.
Okay.
And if someone has like a flat chest, it's flat.
Oh, it's flat.
Something I've noticed. One thing I always do is like kind of like before, sorry that we're breaking again, but like before I go out there, I just kind of like on them. I'm like, okay, that's what we're gonna
just get a feel for it.
Yeah. How am I gonna get the loudest noise?
One of my favorite chop moments of you was at Enjoy Wrestling in Allentown. You were facing some guy named John.
Yeah, there was about 900 chops in that match.
About 900 chops. I was one of them actually.
I felt kind of bad.
I did not. I hate John. But no, you were you walked around holding them and just like letting literally every single person in that place chop them.
Some fair wrestling at fair show wrestling at its finest right there.
Oh yeah,
Get the crowd involved.
It was perfect. I'm so glad you came up to me. You're like, Austin, you're next. I was like, hell yeah, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this for months.
Yeah, dude, it was your payoff.
It was my payoff.
Yeah.
I needed it.
Yeah.
But no, their chops, man, they're vicious. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what goes into it. Like I said, I've definitely seen some weak chops out there. I think that maybe I just done it so much that I kind of just know exactly how to get the noise when I need to.
Well, I mean, I just tried breaking kayfabe again, but do you ever have anybody like after a match be like, my goodness, you could have been a little softer on me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
They can't take it.
Better to say sorry than ask for forgiveness, I tell everybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
When you're out there, obviously, if there's 10 people out there, don't kill someone. But like when you're out there, even, when the crowd's buzzing, you do what you got to do.
I mean, you can really feed off their adrenaline too. Like if they're really into it, obviously you guys are going to be really into it.
And it's also an open invite to hit me back the same way. So it's not like I'm just, I'm not bullying people.
Has anybody ever matched you chop for chop?
Yeah, some people's chops hurt.
Anyone specific that maybe you felt you're like, damn, that actually got me pretty good?
I'm trying to think. Isaiah Bronner had really gnarly chops.
Oh, that makes sense.
JD Drake. JD Drake's chops killed me. Yeah, JD Drake's chops fucking hurt. That's probably the one.
Those are the ones that hurt the most.
Yeah.
Now you are a big sports fan too, obviously. Avid Pittsburgh sports lover. And I think I want to kind of transition to the topic there if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you're all things Pittsburgh. You're Steelers, Pens, Pirates till you die.
Yes.
You're everything. Favorite college football team? Pitt, Penn State.
Pitt.
Pitt. Okay, good. So you're on.
I'm a Pitt man. Yeah.
You're the same on the Pitt man. Let's talk about them Steelers for a little bit. What's your thoughts on them so far this year? I mean, they just beat the Colts, best team in football.
Yeah.
I want to get MV Young's opinion on this team.
They're so confusing. They're so confusing because I really thought they were going to get completely shit stomped last week, and then they dominated the formerly number one. But then it's also confusing because the Colts, like, no one expected them to be good.
Yeah.
But then they were a unit for 9 games, so you wonder, like, oh, did Daniel Jones, is he becoming a pumpkin now, as they say? Like, is he like, or is it just like I'm really interested to see how the Colts do this week.
Yeah.
And they're in London, and I feel like I'm still not gonna validate it. But like, my other worries: 6 turnovers, not really putting up a lot of points. I feel like they would have dropped the 30 burger if Roman Wilson doesn't fumble at the end there. But like, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is giving us legitimacy in a way that we haven't had for a very long time. But, I really wish they would have got a wide receiver yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
A number 2 guy.
They needed one badly.
Yeah.
I mean, DK is great, but, like, no disrespect to Calvin Austin.
DK's a monster, but, like, Calvin Austin is a really great number 3. He's a tiny guy. He's not a legitimate number 2. So I would have liked, what's his name? Jacoby
Myers.
Jacoby Myers goes to Jacksonville. That's the guy we should have got.
You know who I was aiming for you guys to get? Chris Olave.
You guys, are you not a Steelers fan?
I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm so sorry.
What are you?
I am an Arizona Cardinals fan, and you're going to respect why.
Fuck.
Larry Fitzgerald.
You're just that much of a pit man.
Yeah. I'm a pit guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I was going to reveal that to you. I am Penguins. I am Pirates, but I'm actually not.
Oh, you're an Arizona Cardinals.
I'm an Arizona Cardinals
Even
fan.
though Fitz doesn't even play for them anymore.
Even though, I just stuck with the team. Because here's how it started. So it's a weird story. So when I have
another Antonio, wasn't there another pit man there? I mean,
James Conner.
Wasn't there another receiver? I might be wrong.
Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But no, it started off because I have season tickets for Pitt, so I go to all the Pitt football games.
Yeah, I'll be at the Notre Dame game.
I'll be too.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. But I go to all the Pitt games, and like, you know how they have like the pierogi races sometimes, like all the former players, like they got Larry, they got Dorsett, they got Marino. So like when I was a kid, I used to always root for Larry because he's always number 1. And they would show his highlights all the time on the stadium. And my dad's like, you do know he plays in the NFL, right? He plays for the Cardinals. And my dad was a Chiefs fan growing up. So again, that's why I never really cared for the Steelers, because my dad was a Chiefs fan.
Why was he a Chiefs fan?
South Fayette. He went to South Fayette, same logo as Kansas City.
That's such a crazy reason to me.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's such a crazy reason, but he's a Chiefs fan. He's been a fan since he was a little kid too. So like his hatred for the Steelers kind of made my hatred for the Steelers up there.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also started hating the Chiefs because of how much he would be screaming at the TV for them. So I never really understood football. But when I started watching like Larry highlights and playing Madden, I would always play as the Arizona Cardinals. Then I kind of got stuck with them. Steelers played the Cardinals in the Super Bowl.
Who else is a big Arizona Cardinals fan? Adrian Kirsch.
I just found that out recently.
Yeah, the big scourge, dude.
I saw him wearing a Larry jersey. I was like, oh, wow, you're a Cardinals fan, huh? And I said, there's a joke. He's like, yeah, I actually am. I'm like, really? I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a Cardinals fan.
Which is crazy because I never see any Cardinals fans around here.
Yeah.
But I told my dad, I was like, yeah, I'm going to start rooting for the Cardinals. Watch the Super Bowl in 09. Steelers broke my heart. Another reason why I don't like them, because broke little 9-year-old Austin's heart.
Yeah. Marco Narciso's dad is a Pirates fan and a Jets fan.
Oh, I'm so sorry for him. I'm so sorry.
It's such like fucking misery.
Oh my gosh. I never want to turn my TV on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy mixture.
But yeah, no, it's Cardinals for me. It's Penguins for me. And then if you want to count NBA, I'm a Bucks fan just because there's nothing here.
I'm not like super. I don't love like I don't. But I'm a Blazers fan.
Oh, but okay.
Unless Pittsburgh got a team.
Damian Lillard, is that why?
Damian Lillard. Yeah. I had a show in Portland in like 2017, and I went to a summer league game, and I thought it was really sick that he played in the summer league game. It was like playing hard. I was like, I like these guys, and it was CJ McCollum too at that time. And I was like, yeah, that's sick. I'm glad that Damian's back.
What's your favorite sport out of all of them?
My favorite sport?
Yeah,
baseball.
Baseball's the favorite sport.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why?
I don't know.
That's the one you like the most.
I think that baseball to me is like, I don't know why it's my favorite. I like summertime, maybe simple as that. But I think that also, as someone who played every single sport, it's definitely the fucking hardest sport.
Oh, yeah.
Like, once you get to high school baseball and that shit's zipping in there and it's moving, like, I can't fathom that shit. Like, I get mad at baseball players, obviously, especially the Pirates, but it's like, when you think about, like, even fucking Jack Sawinski, like, I couldn't bat 150. No. Like, that shit's coming in at 98 miles per hour and dipping. Like, it's crazy. I think it's just so impressive to me.
It really is. And I mean, I talked to Greg Brown about this recently on the podcast, and he said that because he's called football, he's called baseball. And
he was a Bills guy?
He was a Bills guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is insane. But he called football and baseball, and he said, yeah, talking to baseball players, you can tell they're a lot more locked into football players because it's a lot harder. Yeah. You got to really dial in a whole different tone.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't even, I could catch up to it. I have actually in the last summer before, I actually got to do BP against a dude that was played in Japan, and I did rip what might have been a single. I don't know, but like it's crazy. Like, and he's like retired, like, and he's just like, so he's not at his prime, but like it's just such a different fucking thing. Like it's just like, yeah, it's so damn impressive.
Yeah, and even with like the AAA and like the minors and everything, like even trying to get into those,
dude,
it's so
a
difficult.
mediocre AA ball player, if he came and played with us, would be fucking yanking it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
like second coming of Sheho out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the World Series just happened. What's your thoughts on the Dodgers winning it all?
I hate them.
You hate the Dodgers?
I hate the Dodgers.
Passion.
So much. I hate the construction of Major League Baseball. I hate that every single time the Pirates get someone exciting, all we get is these big market teams saying they can't wait for them to play for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that in any other sport. No. Like, it makes me so mad. You don't have to worry. Like, if in football and hockey, like, you can, like, there's a real chance that they could get anybody. It's reasonable. We can't even fucking fathom. It's always like, oh, well, maybe we get this guy that was really good in 2022 and then he had an off year, so his value's down. Like, it just sucks.
You think it's because there's no salary cap?
I mean, I think it's I don't know. I hope that you don't have any relationships that I'm hurting, but I
say what you want.
Greg
Brown said they were exactly terrible. That was his exact words. So
yeah, I mean, we know why. It's the fucking owner.
Yeah, Bob Nutting.
I mean, it's like, I understand that you don't have the revenue that Los Angeles has. I also understand that fucking Milwaukee spent $140 million last year, and they're considerably smaller than Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no one's asking you to drop $300 million.
No,
nobody's asking you to get Shohei Ohtani. No one's asking you to fucking get whatever. Like, these guys that are having max contracts, but like, this stadium was built by our money. Mm-hmm. This fucking stadium that it's the big attraction every time you go. Oh, this is one of the most beautiful stadiums, and it's the most beautiful stadium in pro baseball. And then, like, all these people are coming to you 81 times a year and buying $19 beers and $15 hot dogs, and like, you can't put 70 more million on the fucking table. You can't this guy owns all these companies. He used to own Seven Springs. If you don't want a baseball, if you don't want a baseball team, then don't fucking own a baseball team.
You noticed they had that big Goodyear blimp beginning of the year, fire Bob Nutting or whatever?
Yes, I know. I was there. I have season tickets, unfortunately.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
I know all the. It's a big deal to me. I don't. It's just like, another thing that, like, as like a quasi athlete myself, like, I always say, like, I don't hate Jack Sawinski. I don't hate Tommy Pham. I don't hate people that are like, I know why they're here, and I'm gonna fucking root for the guys in the jersey. Mm-hmm. But like, were you a fan in 2015?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So 2015, we get 98 wins, and then we just slowly start tanking after that. We could have got 2 more years out of that team.
Yeah.
You could have kept that exact team in 2015. I mean, obviously Jung Ho blows his knee out. That's different. Shit like that. But like, you could have put 15 to 25 more million in that team, completely sell out every fucking game, because I was there. I know what it was like. I know that you were packing it out. It's crazy to me. It's insane to me that as a owner, he just doesn't have more pride. That's the thing, is like, I don't know what it's like to be a billionaire. I never will. Do you bought this team? Do you have any pride? You're a fucking laughing stock. Everyone treats you like a AAA team. Mm-hmm. Is that not embarrassing as a man to, like?
It seems most people just come to the game just for the view and the firework night.
Well, that's what he gets. That's the thing. He does. But that's not true. People just love baseball, and they're our team. Mm-hmm. It's a sickness. Like, yeah, it's a sickness. Like, you like the Pirates and you're born into it. You like the Pirates. But like, yeah, did I go to many games specifically this year where I felt insulted as a fan? Absolutely. I felt insulted. And then Ben Cherington insults our intelligence. I know that he's obviously just a crony for Bob Nutting, but sorry, I could talk about this forever. Like, this shit, this shit pisses me off so bad. I'm not a rich man. I'm buying season tickets. Like, give me fucking something, man. I'm not, I sat through 2020, 2021, 2022. You told us you were going to suck, and that's fine. 2023, you get off to a 20-8 start, and you still don't fucking do shit. 2024, it's supposed to be some upcomings, and I truly believe 2024, Derek Shelton ruined that team. And, there's just so much shit in the organization that just makes me mad all the time. I'll always root for the logo. I got it on my fucking arm.
Yeah.
But like, I hate Bob Nutting, and I hate the way the organization runs things.
Yeah, it feels like every time a player finally starts to get up somewhere, they're gone within a year or two. Like Brian Hayes out the door. Who's next? Cruz?
Or they go or they're not that great here and they go get developed properly somewhere.
Look at Garrett Cole.
All the way back to Jose Batista.
Yeah.
I mean, Garrett Cole was obviously a star here too, but yeah, I mean, he gets better. You know, one of the things I'm like, damn, O'Neal Cruz could be fucking Barry Bonds if he had the right hitting coach. Like, it sucks, man. I don't know. It's frustrating. I don't have any faith they're gonna do anything this offseason. It bums me out.
I don't either. What's your thoughts on Don Kelly? He is a former Point Parker, actually. So
yeah, I like Don Kelly.
You like Don Kelly a lot?
Good. I mean, Don Kelly got a 500 record out of that team.
Yeah, which is insane.
You know, like, it's like, I say that, but also, like, they were, like, literally top 2 pitching. How do you have, what did they finish with? 68, 65?
65, I think.
So you get wins in the 60s and you're the number 2 ranked starters in the whole league. How fucking abysmal are you as a fucking team? That's crazy.
Bottom of the barrel.
That's fucking crazy.
I saw a thing earlier on social media where it had like all the teams across all major sports, and it was like teams that are still rebuilding every year, and the Pirates were like one of the only baseball teams on there. Yeah, it's like with the Jets, Pirates,
every year.
Jazz.
We had those 3 years and nothing else. It's insane.
It's disgraceful. I do have one last question for you though, MV, before we end things off today. And again, I appreciate you so much for coming on. And I ask this to every single guest, and I'm going to ask you this as well. It's the go-to restaurant. Favorite place to grab a meal. I'm a foodie.
In the whole city?
It could be anywhere. Literally anywhere. Favorite place. What's MV Young's go-to place?
Oh, my God. That's tough.
I stump everybody with this question, so it's okay.
I guess I'll just keep it in Pittsburgh. Oh, damn. I guess I got to be kind of like I mean, this is legitimate. I mean, Ruggers. I love the wings. I love everything. And they always have the special menu item every week. Big fan of Rugger. You know that. We all go there after. It's a good time. And their wings are like one of the best in the city for sure. And wings are probably my favorite food.
I was about to ask, wings is probably the go-to food then?
Yeah.
I'm burger fry.
It's always wings, maybe some fries.
Okay. Yeah. Fries. I'm burger fries kind of guy. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on, MV. And I did want to just ask this actually, just out of curiosity. So I just recently came in 880 Wrestling, and I remember I reached out to you originally. I reached out to a couple other guys just to try and get my foot in the door. And I started off doing camera work with Sorg, pulling cable, doing the whole shebang, doing a couple other companies around here too. And you guys have brought me in with open arms, which I really appreciate and respect that. Yeah. And I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on this. What was your first impression like of me?
Oh, dude, I thought that. So you sent me the tapes of you doing basketball games, right?
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
And that was something like we've said this whole interview. I want a real sports feel, so I was really into it. Obviously, we just have some staples. I was into your style as a sports broadcaster. I really liked that. And then I was like, oh, I feel like I want to make room for this guy. And then some things happened, and we got to do a shuffle. And yeah, dude, you fucking fit in so awesome. It's like a great mix, like you and Toddy together, you and Iman together. Like it really works really well. I
appreciate that. No, and I mean, Toddy's welcomed me with open arms. Eamon's has given me some great advice too. And I really like the chemistry we have with the broadcasters. When Toddy came on the podcast, he said that this was probably the best variation of broadcasters that 880 has had.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah, you guys are, all three of you, and anyone else that we throw in the mix, Dan too. It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah. Well, MV, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to give you the final chance. Any final words you'd like to leave with the audience before we end things off today?
880 Wrestling at Penn Brewery, November 26th.
And then 1010 Freyberg Street every Thursday.
Every Thursday for free, 8 p.m.
Hell yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Austin Carnes. That's MV Young. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.